Parshas Netzavim-Vayeilech. Something very interesting. It's talking about, there's a discussion in the greatest minds in Judaism argued about this. It says, Lo b'shamayim hi, it's not in the heavens. As if to say, who will go up and get it in the heavens and bring it to us. It's not on the other side of the sea. Ki karov elecha hadover. Me'od, it's very close to you. Beficha, in your mouth. Uvilvavcha, and in your heart. La'asoso, to do it. And the greatest minds in Judaism argued about this. What are we talking about? Are we talking about the whole Torah? That's what Rashi says. The Ramban says no. We're talking about one thing in particular. We're talking about tshuva. Tshuva is not in the heavens. It's not across the ocean. It's in your heart and in your mouth to do it. Now, like over the years, every now and then you come, I give I give a shiur or a speech or something, and a guy comes over to me and says, "Wow, Rabbi, that was a great speech. You changed my life." Isn't that nice to hear? What does it actually tell me? It tells me he's not so stable. Like for real, you've only lived 30 seconds since I spoke. In 20 years, if you say it changed your life, I get it. If a person just changes his life in an instant, can people really just change all of their behaviors in a single second? Is it so close? Now the Rambam seems to say that tshuva, that real tshuva is that he leaves the sin and he feels bad about it and he will never repeat it. Wow. It's pretty heavy. So then every year we come to this Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur time, we're like, what? Hello? Come on, for real? I'm just going back and doing... Suddenly I gained complete control over all my lust, gained complete control over all my thoughts, gained complete control over all my weakness, gained complete control of my entire personality, of all of my speech patterns, of all of my feelings. I just got that in one Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. I don't even need one next year if I could do that. How are we supposed to actually do this? And this is a big discussion also. Some of the greatest philosophers and thinkers and Talmidei Chachamim in history spoken about this a lot. Is it so close? Now, I do want to say that there are people who 10 and 20 years later talk about how their life was changed as a result of spending a year or 2 or 3 in yeshiva. Yeah, that has happened many times. But that's not from one moment to the next moment. What I actually say to the person is, I don't know if I changed your life. We can talk about it at the end. I hope I changed your mind. I hope that something in the way you think about this has changed. Now the work is on you. I don't have some lightning that I gave you that will change your life. It doesn't work that way. We have an insight. We learn something. We become wiser about how to live. And then we work on it for years and years. And it's a gradual process. And it's a process that builds up after years. Now you guys, there's something actually more even bigger, because some of you make within a year incredible changes that other people spent many years of their life trying to get. And we see that sometimes guys that come to Eretz Yisrael, they come to Yeshiva and they put that effort in, and in truth, they make remarkable changes in a year. But it's not done. How am I going to continue? How am I going to follow forward? How am I going to continue working on it? And that's in terms of the life that we're going to live, and hopefully a long life, and hopefully a life of continued growth and development, wisdom, love, connection, happiness, all of these things. Hopefully they will grow for us every single year. It's not, oh man, there you go. It's not because some lightning strikes us. Although they say if a person is actually physically struck by lightning, it could have life-altering effects on him, but that's not what we're talking about. So the Rabbeinu Yonah talks about it a little bit differently than the Rambam. And the great Balei Musar, the great thinkers of the last couple of 100 years say this is how we paskin. This is the halacha about tshuva. Do I have to do a tshuva that says I'm never ever going to sin again? It makes the whole Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur almost feel like a joke. It makes it feel almost like a waste of time. It makes it feel so overwhelming and frightening and undoable. And I just decide it's irrelevant. Rabbeinu Yonah says no. The tshuva is that I'm standing on a good path. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter brings such a critical example of this. Says a guy gets in his car. There was no cars in the times of Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. It's been modernized. And he says, how do I get from here to Tel Aviv? How far is it? So the guy says it's an hour. So he drives for an hour. He doesn't see Tel Aviv, drives for 2 hours, 3 hours. Finally, he gets to a gas station. He stops. He says, can you tell me how far is Tel Aviv from here? He says, Tel Aviv is 4 hours from here. He says, how's that possible? When I left Jerusalem 3 hours ago, they told me it was an hour. Now you told me it's 4 hours. He says, yeah, because you were driving in the wrong direction. So you've driven another 3 hours away from your destination by the direction that you're in. So you got to make a U-turn here. And then in 4 hours, you're going to be in Tel Aviv. He says, tshuva is, what's the direction that we face? Return. Tshuva is to return. What direction am I facing? When I left Yerushalayim, going in the wrong direction, every moment I was getting further and further from my destination. The closest that I got to my destination was when I made the U-turn, even though I was now 4 hours away instead of an hour away. And the reason is because I changed my direction. I didn't change my whole life. I didn't yet get to my destination. I didn't perfect it. I could guarantee, we could swear on a Sefer Torah that we're still going to end up deviating. We're still going to end up making mistakes. We're still going to end up getting lost on the way. But every year I have this opportunity. How am I going to kind of get my direction to be the right direction? How do I get back on course? How do I get back to being that person that I want to be? Where do I want to be? In my deepest self. You see, we live in a generation where the closest thing is the other side of the sea. It's nothing. Jump on a plane, 12 hours, you're on the other side of the sea. It's nothing. But we have a different challenge than I feel like earlier generations had. And our challenge is we can't find our heart. Our challenge is we can't find our deepest desires. Not the desires, the lusts, and the temptations. Those are easy. Those are easy. All I have to do is turn on my phone. All I have to do is walk outside in the street. All I have to do is get involved in a discussion of people who have nothing better with their life to do than talk about nonsense. The hardest place to get is into my heart. The hardest thing to do is to control my speech and my actions. But what these days give us is this great opportunity. Let me try to direct my speech. Let me try to find in my heart that part that wants to connect back with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that part that wants purity, that part that wants to really live with connection. And then we just build it for the rest of our lives. Have a beautiful Shabbos, gentlemen.